All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a huge favor. Drop me a one in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear, as I have been having some technical issues yesterday, and I think I got it all under control today. All right, I see the one coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, as always, we start each and every morning with a strong foundation, right? The Forex Trade Room Credo, meaning, hey, we take massive action. We accept all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing us for any outcome. We always make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. We always want to trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. We always want to imagine our trade success materializing, and we want to be sure that we are obeying our trading strategy. We obey our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and we want to make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trade has commenced. So, hope everybody has had an amazing week. My apologies for having to cancel the session yesterday. Had major internet issues, but I think we are all set and ready to go now. So let me uh, reshare this screen and we will go over to trading economics, and we'll take a look at the stock market, right? Take a look at the S&P 500. So US stock futures edged higher on Friday after the major averages ended mixed in the previous session. On Thursday, the S&P and NASDAQ composite gained 0.7% and 0.18% respectively, both setting fresh record highs. Meanwhile, the Dow slipped 0.7% but remains higher for the week overall. Markets have been buoyed by strong corporate earnings and positive trade developments. Alphabet rose 1% after surpassing Q2 expectations and raising its 2025 capital spending guidance by $10 billion, reinforcing investor confidence in its AI strategy. In contrast, Tesla tumbled 8.2% as CEO Elon Musk warned of tougher quarters ahead. On the policy front, the Federal Reserve is widely expected to hold interest rates steady at next week's meeting. President Trump followed a historic visit to the Fed's headquarters, softened his tone on Chair Powell, Jerome Powell, stating he has no plans to dismiss him. Right? He sure enough was trying yesterday on that visit. What a mess that was, with the back and forth. Heading over, taking a look at what's going on. So German business sentiment came in below expectations. Germany's IFO Business Climate Index edged up 80 to 88.6% in July from 88.4 in June, reaching its highest level since May 2024. However, the reading came in slightly below market expectations at 89, indicating that business sentiment remains cautious and the recovery in the German economy continues to be sluggish, right? So an improvement, but still below expectations. Okay. UK retail sales rebound on summer boost. That's good. That's good. Eurozone lending growth beats expectations, right? So we have been long on the euro. And so this is just more good data to support that narrative there. Brent crude rises on trade optimism and supply constraints. So Brent crude futures strengthened above 69 a barrel on Friday, extending gains for a second session as optimism over U.S. trade deals lifted market sentiment. We'll see how long that lasts. Taking a look at gold, gold prices fell to around 33.60 per ounce on Friday, marking a third consecutive session of losses as concerns over tariffs continue to ease, denting the precious metals appeal. Investors continue to monitor progress in trade talks with the U.S. and EU reportedly nearing an agreement. shortly after Washington announced a separate deal with Japan. On the economic front, U.S. jobless claims fell for the sixth straight week, the longest stretch of declines since 2022, underscoring the resilience of the labor market. This reinforced views that the Federal Reserve will hold rates steady at the next meeting. But markets are still pricing in a potential rate cut in September. Meanwhile, renewed tensions between President Trump and Fed Chair Powell also drew attention as they clashed over the central bank's renovation cost. Trump repeated his call for lower rates, but said the renovation issues weren't enough to justify firing Powell. Still, gold remains on track for a modest weekly gain. All right. So that's where we are on the fundamental front. Click it over, right? We see stock futures inch higher after S&P NASDAQ score another record close. 10-year Treasury year flat as investors assess U.S. economy trade developments. Not a whole lot there. And just again here, major companies continue to beat earnings. Intel beats on revenue, slashes foundry investments. The CEO says no more blank checks. All right. And then, surprise, surprise, right? The FCC approves the $8 billion Paramount Skydance merger, right? And so I don't know if you all have been following that and how that whole thing transpired with the shakedown, but the FCC approves the $8 billion merger. Tesla dumped 75% of its Bitcoin at one of the worst times, losing out on billions, right? So, decisions, right, with Tesla. What are they going to do, right, to make a comeback? So this is where we are. Any questions regarding the fundamentals? No, no questions. All right. So yeah, today, not a ton going on, everybody. Not a whole lot, not a busy day on a Friday. We'll see if anything transpires with the administration that could cause some volatility. Like I said, yesterday was a mess. That whole thing on camera was just silly. But we're gonna be looking at a pretty slow day. Uh, I want to take a look at this dollar index. So we see the dollar index hovered around 97.5 on Friday, but remained on track for a steep weekly loss as traders weighed evolving trade developments and looked ahead to next week's Federal Reserve policy meeting. Reports indicate that the U.S. and EU officials are nearing a trade agreement that would impose a 15% tariff on EU goods, mirroring a similar deal struck with Japan. And then, right, same old, expected to hold rates. So that is the expectation. Maybe we still see 2 rate cuts this year. We shall see. All right, we shall see. But the Fed seems to be holding pretty firm, right? Which it's good to see them hold their independence, right? And make their own decisions and not bow down to pressure. We all know that if he was to fire Chairman Powell, right, that would really hurt the markets, right? We would see a major correction most likely in the markets if that were to happen. So that's where we are. All right. So it is Friday, and so right out the gate, uh, any particular pairs that we want to look at before I dive in and do my thing, right? Make sure we put that in the chat if there's any particular pairs that we want to take a look at. Mr. 80-20 sell on the pound dollar. What time frame, Reese? Hour and 30 minutes. All right, we'll take a look at that just for good measure. So we'll go and take a look at the pound dollar. All right, going over to the 1 hour, zooming out. Right. So talking about maybe off this leg here. This is what you saw, that correction off the low. It definitely did, right? We didn't get that. Yep, we didn't get that 382. That was a monster move back down, wasn't it? Yep, didn't get that 382, right? We broke that B boundary. We didn't stop out. We came right back down to target, right? So we're going to retest most likely that 134, 2023 level. Here we are on this 30-minute, right? Look at that U-turn, right? So we had this drawn up, this 80-20 that hit nice, right? So we drew that up, boom, on the 30-minute, and now we reversed and we're coming back down on this correction. Right. So again, there's the 80-20 the other way. So we got 80-20s all over the place on this pound dollar move. Right. And so how that plays in to this longer move that I'm seeing here on this pound, right? Do we hold that cloud and correct? Right. I actually took a small position long on that pound dollar once we broke that 4-hour cloud. So it's just a matter of whether or not it's going to hold or not. The dollar strength. Continues. We'll see. It's been a lot of back and forth there. So we shall see, right? On the pound dollar. Anything else out there that we want to take a look at? I don't see anything else in the chat, right? So keep it moving. Moving on to the yen. Yeah, across. So we'll take a look at all of our yen crosses, take a snapshot, right? Definitely been long on this euro yen as we continue to move towards our target. So here we are, long, continuing, right? So been long on this euro yen, right? Ever since, hey, ECB, we're coming to the end of our rate cutting cycle, and we have just been long ever since then. And we know that the yen has been fairly weak across the board. And so this is the daily look. So we're trying to take this to 178.38 on the longer term swing. If we come down to the 4-hour, right? In this 80-20 zone on the 4-hour, but we just continue to push long, right? So we're in one of those stages where the yen, pretty much every major currency is making a run against it long, and that's just the way it is. We know how it goes, right? Lots to blow right through those 80-20s, and we haven't gotten this one to correct yet. So until we see it, right, break this cloud, we're going to continue to go long, right? But overall, big picture, that daily swing is still intact, right? So even if we were to see this correction and it got the bottom, if the bottom falls out of it, we're still overall long, right, on the yen. But we are right in that 80-20 zone, but we may not see that correction on the yen before it hits this D extension. Okay, so that's where we are. If we come down to the one, that we have on our 1-hour chart, right? We've kind of been in that same area, that same zone, but you can see we're still pushing higher, right? See how we pushed and hit that extension on the 1-hour? So we're no longer activated, right, on this fib, right? So we didn't get the move in the breakdown, but there's that 178.38. That's the target that we're looking for. Over the long term, pound yen, right? Still grinding higher, right? We've got that 50 crossing over that 200, still bullish, right? Still bullish, okay? bit some mixed data out of the UK, but overall against this yen, right? This pound yen, we wanna stay long. You can see here that, let me take this cloud off. That we recently came, right? Moved higher, hit this extension, right? That deep 8-6 retracement, hit the extension at the 118, right? As choppy as it was, now we've got a new AB boundary. Okay. So of course, if we want to buy, right? We want to buy, we would like to see a correction. Right? But we know that that may take a while, right? With these yen crosses. But we're in a phase now where I don't want to buy that, right? I don't want to get long this 4-hour chart. I want to see a decent correction. But overall, long term, till something changes, hey, major risk off situation, Bank of Japan steps in, which I don't see a reason for them to do that right now. But we need some type of catalyst to cause a correction to get long, right? At least on this 4-hour chart. We've got a brand new AB boundary. Okay, and we've broken our B boundary with just a shallow retracement. So that next stop potentially is that 80-20 zone if we don't see a correction sometime soon. All right. Any questions on the pound yen? No. All right. There we go. So that's where we are there, right? Same game. Same game. Nothing's changing, right? So we take a look at this Swiss yen. Okay. That we know made an amazing run, right? Amazing run. Okay. We had the double bottom in the zone. We just recently on a daily chart hit the D extension. Okay. 786 retracement, double bottom at this monthly support at 165.18. Took us all the way to that 127 extension, 183.60. Okay. 183.60 to the target, 1,800 pips since February. All right, off that double bottom. So we move down to the 4. 4-hour chart. For some reason I'm jammed up a bit. There we go. Still had that on. New AB boundary, right? So everything's resetting. Okay. Daily D extension hit, 4-hour extension hit, resetting. Okay. So nothing there, nothing doing there yet. Okay. So this is where we are. This is our 1-hour play, 80-20 zone. Okay. Be careful with these yen crosses though. Okay. Pretty strong push against the yen, but we are stalling out. Right. So at some point, right, we'll see things reset. Right now it's looking a little shaky, right? Wonder if we'll get pushed up to hit that extension, but we're technically in the 80-20 zone, but I would be cautious with these yen crosses. Okay. We see across the board, right? Currencies making a run. And so here we are on the CAD yen. Okay. Daily pullback, moving sideways now around our 127 zone, but we're bullish, right? We're approaching the buy zone on this CAD yen on the daily. Right? And we would love to see on this 4-hour, right, a deeper correction, right, to hit the buy zone. Love to see it test at 106.18, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet, right? So we're getting a reaction off this 382 right now. We've got kind of, you know, bit of a double bottom type of reaction here. around this 382, right? We see that W, right? See that level? So we may be taking off from there. Not my play though, right? Not my play. If you trade off that 382, we got one, two, three times that area was hit, right? If that's your thing, we know we're not putting our stop below the A. We're gonna put it right below the low here, right? Because we're taking it so high in the zone if this is your trade, right? Okay. I tend to stick to my rules for the most part, but you do have, right, double bottom, triple really, three times at that 382 level, and we're pushing long. 4 hour stochastic is back to being overbought, but you know, we may maintain that. But if I take it off at 382, I'm going to put it right below the low. Okay. Right below the low there. That's how I'm playing that. I'm not putting it there because now right here, my risk to reward isn't favorable if I'm putting it below this D extension. I mean, it's a boundary, right? You've got to move it up. Okay. That way you protect yourself in case that trade turns over and wants to move deeper in the zone. Okay. So that's where we are on the CAD yen, moving down to the NZD JPY. Okay. New AB boundary on the daily. You can see off this weekly, man, this thing has just been pushing up. All right. Take that off now, off that correction that was being made. We're long, right? Weekly perspective, we focus on this area right here, right? Can't deny that. It is what it is long term. That's where we've got the fib drawing off this low. Moving higher, new AB boundary on the daily. What we look like here on the 4. New AB boundary as well. ABCD move recently completed. Right. 80-20 to the 382. Didn't move deeper. Took off, went to the extension. So you can see with these yen crosses, kind of all moving in sync, where we've got a lot of new AB boundaries setting up. So we want to see some type of correction if we can get it for it to move higher. Okay. So that's where we are on these yen crosses. Aussie yen, all right, continuing to creep higher in that zone, right? Long. Let me run this fib this other way. All right. So we may complete this ABCD move, right? If that falls in line, our stochastic is back in the buy zone. I'm leaning towards that stand long. It's been retracing for quite some time. It may take that A boundary out off that last impulse move to the downside, right? So this is going to continue that's going to continue to move higher. This is the one that I was wrong on. This Aussie yen, right? And here we are. Right? Got just about a 50% swing. It's moving higher, right? So we're targeting this D extension off the 4. At 99. Call that 99 even, really? Boom. Right? So any type of a pullback that you can get on the lower time frames, right? It's all around that 99 level. Then you look to stay long on this. Okay. Questions on any of the yen crosses?
No.
No? What's going on, Jeremy?
Yeah, just waiting for my setups.
Listen, um it's been a crazy year with volatility in the currencies, right? That's where all the volatility is. So much back and forth. Um, but they're still staying within the framework, right? Things are just with currencies this year seems to be moving just a little bit slow because of all of the tariff situation and all the craziness that's been going on. But there's still plays out there, right? But like you said, with a lot of these now, you're just waiting on your setups, waiting to see where you can get in. But the yen crosses have been. I had this originally played wrong with the Aussie, and just because I was so bearish on the Aussie, I still pretty bearish on it. But across the board with the yen has been weak. So I had this going the wrong way. I thought it was going to turn over, but it didn't. And yeah, so it's continuing to move long. I have super small positions in on currencies right now, in that one Darwin account um, that I'm trading. Um, I'm only trading them at one mini lot, but everything else is seems to be doing pretty much okay. My Walmart position that I've been holding is steadily improving. That was down over $1,000, but it's only down like $662 now. So that one I'm holding for a while though, that account. But I've been able to with a lot of the ETFs, a lot of the stocks this year do pretty good, especially holding those S&P positions. So we'll see what happens, right, as we continue to move throughout the year. But these yen crosses are definitely uh, moving to the upside. Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. What's top of mind for you this morning?
Man, I'm watching the back and forth between Jerome Powell and and Donald Trump as he's trying to find a way to move him out without technically moving him out. Um, so
He
that's
tried it yesterday, didn't he?
say it again.
I said he tried it yesterday, didn't
He did. He did. Adding buildings that finished 5 years ago.
he?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Just watching the situation in Japan. There's speculation that uh, Prime Minister Ishbia is going to step down after these trade talks wrap up. So
wow.
I'm researching just to get an understanding of how that could impact the market in the short term and the long term. But that's something that is potentially on the horizon. He denied any changes immediately.
Hmm.
But he's um his approval rating is dropped like 20%. Um, there's some uh internal concerns within the party, and so there's tons of pressure on him. Um, because the opinion overall public opinion has changed. So
Yeah.
um so I'm watching that.
Okay.
Like I said, see how it'll impact the markets overall and in the yen specifically. But right now, nothing. Looking at that dollar yen getting to 150 and above
Hmm.
before anything changes.
Appreciate it, man. Because that's always interesting, from a political standpoint. You know, first impact of them stepping down, and then the market reaction of whoever uh, steps into that position next. You know, and what their fiscal policy may be. We know where the Bank of Japan stands, but whenever we'll see we'll see monetary policy, what that looks like for whoever comes in and steps in place. So you're looking at two reactions, right? The reaction is stepping down, and then whoever comes in afterwards, and then just the continued reaction if the sentiment is he may step down and then he doesn't. So you just never know how that plays out.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Speaking of the dollar yen, right? Because I didn't. I didn't move into that, right? So again, just steadily been improving, right? Looking at that from the daily. Uh got another bounce back from that 148.30 level. But again, right, do we hold stochastic back into the buy zone? Okay, we've got an area uh here again. Um from this daily perspective, right, in this same zone where we've got a resistance level and we're holding up. And again, stochastic back in the buy zone. We've got a new line of resistance as a result of that latest pullback. Right, created. And so we're still pushing long, right? Pushing long. And here we are on this on the daily with the cloud, right? Still trying to move and get above that 200. We're above the 50. So there we were with that triple bottom. And then it's still steadily moving higher, like you said, towards 150. And we'll see how it goes. Here we are on the 1 hour. Okay. Hey, that's a beautiful swing, right? We held up. We got an A6 pullback. So right here, this 148.30 level, that's your D extension, right? We got an A6 pullback, D extension there. So we're almost there. So wait on a reset, right? If you're trading a 1 hour chart, don't buy that now, right? Let that play out. Let the fibs reset, and then look for pullbacks and continuation. Definitely looking for that to move higher. Any questions on the dollar yen?
Nope.
Yeah. No. We do follow and track cryptos. I do need to get them marked up on this latest, right? So it's 88 USD. That one dropped and collapsed. Let's go to because I do need to mark up some fresh cryptos, but we do trade crypto in this group.
Why you pulling it up, bro? Just welcome to Jamari. Glad to see you on, sir.
Yes, sir. Drops the sevens in the chat. Welcome. Welcome. All right, for sure. So let's mark up let's mark up this XRP, right? Jamari, is there a particular crypto that you follow, or you follow a lot across the board? Yeah. So we'll mark up this XRP,
You said Ethereum.
Ethereum. Okay. So we'll mark up XRP. Then we'll go to Ethereum. All right. So just like everything, right? Doesn't matter the asset class. We are going to mark our extreme high and low starting at the monthly chart. And mark that high. XRP at our support and resistance levels in. Oops. So on down to the weekly. just this high, just a little bit. Go. Our weekly levels in. And we'll come on down to the daily. Get these levels marked. Do our daily in red. So, and we'll take these off. And we'll work to find a low. Good, so left to right. There. All right, so this is what we're looking like on our daily chart. So we've got a test of that 161 level, right? That's a monthly level, 61.8 pullback. So our projection here is $4.08 right? On our daily chart, XRP, just like that. So like that even 408, 408, like so. That's where we are there. And what I'll do is so let me see where we caught that low. So this is what we're looking like on a daily. So that's our daily 1.618, right? ABCD wave. Okay. A, B, C, D. Okay. So that's that on XRP. What I'm going to do here is with manage charts and layouts. We'll go to the 4-hour chart. P T. So we'll do a 4, do a 1. Jamari, what time frame do you trade on primarily?
He's new to it all.
What'd you say?
He's new to the
Oh, he's
space.
no to it all?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. New York. All right. Gotcha. Okay. So there we go. So there's our 4-hour chart. And what I'm going to do is let me pull this off because I don't want to pull those fibs down. So blink it like that. And leave it there. We'll come down to the 4. So, and we'll start to run our fibs again off this low. That. Boom. And this is our daily 1.618 D extension. There. Okay. So if we're tracking this 4-hour wave, this is where we are. We're right at a 61.8 now, right? So We look at a potential buy. If you're trading the 4-hour chart, if this is your mother chart, we're looking long. And your 4-hour wave, you got to go into 127 eventually, right? But no, we've got a daily D extension in between that point. So all in the same area, same zone, right? But we've got a nice level there for XRP. If you trade your 1-hour chart, see what we're looking at there. Where do we? Is that? So we'll start to run our fibs, see where we are on our 1-hour chart. We're probably gonna have to catch that next major low up ahead. Yes. All right. 80-20 there. All right. 80-20 that came in right there. So it's 80-20. Overall, we're long. We came down, hit the 50% edge of the buy zone, and we're trying to move higher. So with this one, all right, even if you wanted to put your cloud on, wait for that cloud break to get long. So, well, okay. Again, this is the daily 1.618 D extension, like so. So we're tracking higher. We got a couple time frames where we got decent pullbacks, and we can look to buy. All right. So that's where we are. XRP, that's where we are on Ripple. Any questions on this setup?
No, sir.
All right, all right. Let's go in and we'll work within this same chart. And we'll go back up to monthly and we'll go to Ethereum. Okay. Same thing, same approach, right? So we'll move this here. See, what's the one? Ethereum versus the dollar. Go back to our default template here. Let's see where we are. Cup and handle on the monthly. Maybe, in this area here, right here in this area here, right? But we didn't really get the equal highs. I haven't really gotten the equal highs on that, right? I guess if you say we didn't wick out, so I see it, right? I see what you're talking about there, Jeremy. Right? It's a really good observation there, right? Kind of gave that pattern, right? At least from what I'm looking at here, if that's what you're looking at, the same thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it, right? Because we got that pullback on it. We got that pullback and then that continuation for sure. So let's mark it up, mark our high and our low. We are. Okay, this is correct. And let's move down to the weekly. Check it out. Okay. So let's look at our weekly levels in blue. Like so. There. So let's transfer these down to the daily. I mean to the stay within the same chart. That's right. Let's take this down to the daily. Pick our levels. So, and we'll mark this one down. The lower time frames, daily support. There. There. Two. Let's fib off this low. So got a new AB boundary there. Down to the 4. Running off the same low. 80-20. 4-hour on Ethereum. So we know that we may see a correction. Okay. 38.58. We got a daily level right at that 127. We got rejected there once. Seems like it's wanting to retest it again. Right? So we're not buying that right now. Right? We need to see a correction. Let's see what's going on in our 1-hour chart. So we took out our A, set it at the low. Okay. 8-6 retracement. An hour. Boom. 1.18 extension, right? We're headed there. Broke above the cloud, right? So we got daily resistance at 38.58, right? That level, that's the area we're talking about retesting. If we coming off that 4-hour chart, if we break above that, right, we head to that 39.02, right? 3,900 level area. Yeah. Okay. So definitely bullish for sitting above the 200 and the 50. Right. So we definitely look forward to push long, and that's your 1 hour chart. Any questions there? All right. We've got a pro crypto administration, so we definitely should pay more attention, right, to these plays. Okay. All right. So moving right to wrap things up, right? Taking a look at the indices. Uh, taking a look at the S&P. I've got it drawn up separate. So we'll go to this chart, and we are trying to get to 6,500. We broke out of that little bit of a range, everybody. Think we're gonna get there. Right? I think we're gonna get there, right? I don't see that pullback before 6,500. So I see what happens. We don't have a ton of news going on in the markets today. But I'm interested to see if there's gonna be at least to close out the week. Some continued optimism with some of these tariff deals that the president is working out. So again, don't know how much news we'll get on the Friday, but we did break out of that range, and it looks like we're headed towards 6,500. So it's just a matter of going down through the charts. We'll go to the one, see if we see any type of possibility, any type of correction prior to. No, maybe it retested at 63.34 level, which was the high. Maybe retest there, and then we continue. I mean, we can run some. Let me mark that low, which is the C. Um, to see if we can pick up anything. Yeah, let me clear these out. Okay, so we definitely broke out of that zone. And back to see if we could catch any type of wave that'll give us a pullback to get in on our way to 6,500. We might not, but we'll see. Nope, that one's already taken off, right? So maybe, if we get this to complete, maybe we get one more pullback before we go to 6,500. Maybe we can connect. So we got a 382 there that pushed us through that zone. So we get to the extension here, 64.26. Maybe we get a reset, a new AB boundary, right? So maybe we get price to move up. So hit that the extension, we reset. And then maybe we get a slight pullback, off this subfield, like so, to get to 6,500. Maybe that's how it plays out. Maybe not. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're definitely at a 382 on this current fit. So no 80-20 there. But that's where we are on the S&P. So we felt strongly about the second half of the year. So haven't actually traded a ton, just been holding on two positions. Holding on two positions. Letting the game play out. That's where we've been this year. So we'll see if we get that 6,500 in the next maybe in the next week or so. But I'm gonna be out most of my S&P positions at that 6,500 level. Uh, maybe leave a small percentage of one position open. But for the most part, I'll be out closing out. US 30, right? Similar situation, right? We're sitting pretty high. Okay. Haven't gotten beyond the major highs yet, the new highs that were set. Uh, so it's a matter of, do we correct? I don't know right now, right? So we're approaching that 80-20 zone. Maybe something turns in the market once we get to that level. Not sure, but this is kind of that same situation that the S&P was in before it decided to break out to the upside. All right. So this is still kind of just moving sideways. So not a lot doing there, right? We don't want to buy. All right. I don't want to buy right now. On that US 30. Then we'll take a look at um, the NASDAQ, right? Pushing long, right? See that little range there? And it's just continuing to push, right? Setting new highs, right? That's that straight black line there, setting new highs, right? So 23,904, probably we're gonna head to that target. Right now, I just don't see anything. Now you never know, right? Because of the administration that we have, but I just don't right now. I don't see anything driving that major correction, right? I think we make a target before we see uh, something that'll cause a correction to happen that deep. But we can see since April, everything has made a full recovery, right? Those beautiful V-type recoveries that we see, right, after those major corrections in these indices. And so we're continuing to push higher there. But you know, if you're long, stay long, right? If you're looking for a new entry, you have to be you have to be a little patient there. Um, Nvidia continues to climb. That's a position that's playing out pretty well. It's just been explosive, right? And this is one that you in your long-term portfolio that you just buy and you just hold it and let it run. Uh, but this one is going to continue to move on this 1 hour chart to the extension, most likely. Um, you know, this is just a big mover. Um, what is that? Which one is that one? You seen it? Never. How's the time? Is that you mean? Is that a new one or do you mean Palantir? I have to write that one down and look it up. Sure. Uh, oh, you think you think it's a typo? Oh, all right. So let me ELTR get the stocks and see. It's Palantir here, right? It's just blazing, moving higher, right? So we've got deep pullback A6. This was the play here on Palantir, right? That latest correction. This is the 4 hour chart. That's a deep A6 retracement. That was a beautiful opportunity to get in there on Palantir. We're not seeing the corrections, right? Tech, we're not seeing it. It's just running, right? So it was in the 80-20 zone. It made a slight correction. Then look at that V-type recovery there that it made. Boom, an acceleration. So we're probably going to hit that 160, 150, 57 target. Uh, but this is another one, right? When we do see that for your long-term portfolio, when we do see that next correction, just thanks, Jeremy. Just buy your share. Just one share, just one whole share, right? Go into your Robinhood account, whatever platform you use. They make it so easy for you to go in and be able to buy stock, but just buy one share. Your audio's going okay. You're seeing that. Appreciate it. So you letting us know that. So this is, um, there you go. Yeah, it went out and came back in. But just, just buy one share, right? Don't miss out, but wait for your correction, right? So we you know, we've got the ability to do technical analysis, right? So you just say, you know what, I'm gonna write this one down, and then the next time we get a correction, because we will, right? It might not be as low as that 66, 61 anymore, but hey, that's pretty much up $100, right? Almost up $100 from where it was. So that's where we are on that one. Uh, Robinhood, we're getting some decent corrections, right? So speaking of Robinhood, right, we're on a 1 hour chart. We pulled back, right? Get to around that $100 mark on Robinhood. So that's kind of hovering, right? If you're trading that 1 hour chart. Coinbase, right? 80/20. Listen, we only need to trade a few zones, everybody. We don't make it rocket science. Just a few zones. Here's the pullback, 1 hour, bang. Extension, 80/20. Counter trend trade opportunity if you trade it. If not, you wait for the low price to get long, right? So do we come and retest the highs here? That would be beautiful, right? On this Coinbase. Boom. Long. Okay. Long. So with a lot of these, in your long-term account, right? I'm looking for opportunities primarily to buy and hold. So I'm just looking for a decent price, and I'm using my technical analysis to do that. But once I'm in, right? Once I'm in, I'm in. So, right, Coinbase, the Visa setup, right? We talked about that. We did a webinar on Visa for the long term. So that's trying to make the U-turn and climb, right? So that's at 355 now, but we're looking bullish on that. Uh, Here's the TSM off the double bottom on the daily, rumbling, right? I don't know what happened to my fib on this one. I don't know. I have to take let's start running it. Let's see if we can catch it. Catch it off this correction, off the low. In the 80/20 zone. Techs have been just rolling, rocking and rolling. Right? So listen, this is all happening during our lifetime, everybody. It's happening in our lifetime. Opportunity. Right? It's all happening. Right? See? So we'll see. Like I said, with tech though, it's kind of like those yin crosses, right? It's been blazing right through these 80/20 just because, right? Fundamentals over technicals, right? There's a lot of things that are favoring, right? These tech stocks right now. Um, so those technical structures, right, that we typically love the counter trend trade, right? Not holding up. Here we got a decent correction on Meta, right? So maybe we make that move down. Oops. Maybe we make that move back down on this 80/20 here. Maybe not, but for the most part, with a lot of these, uh, I haven't really had that my trader hat on as much as I've had my investor hat on, looking for low prices to buy. Uh, and so I've been looking primarily upside. So is Joy on here today? Could no Joy. Drop Joy some sevens in the chat for this UPS this UPS setup, right? Just heard observing, you know, really what's going on in our neighborhood, right? With UPS, like her observing what's going on in the neighborhood and said, look, pull up this UPS chart. And she called it right at the lows. And we're breaking higher, right? So we put a cloud on that. Boom. We just broke the cloud. Just broke the cloud and we're pulling back. So if we run a sub fib off of that, right? Maybe uh we press down into right the cloud up against that 200 in black 50 moving average, and then we'll eventually get this crossover with the 50 and the 200, and we get long. So man, if you took Joy up on that position, you're up pretty good right now. 1 hour stochastics back in the buy zone. So yeah, so that's where we are, everybody. Uh, hey, wherever the market's moving, that's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. So that is all I have for today. Looking forward to um the weekly ritual tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get caught up on some things and to really get set up for the week ahead. Ryan, anything before we close out, sir?
No, sir. Great session, bro. Appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Hey, everybody, continue to be patient. Pick your spots, right? Believe in yourself, believe in your education, let your trades play out. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Thank you, Billy.
You're welcome.